This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, whatever time it is with you and wherever you are. Thank you for downloading this SmackDown review as part of the WWE podcast. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to have you listening along once again. So, Saturday night's main event, what did you guys think? I'm pleased I didn't stay up and watch it live. It was pretty frustrating watching on YouTube the following day. We had some really long pauses for what I guess were the commercials in the US, and where we just had a test card that said we'll be back soon, and each one was sort of like 4 minutes long. And on top of that, we also got our own adverts. So that was all a bit annoying, but hey, first world problems, I guess. So no major title switch, so rumours were wrong, and I guess that the main highlight of the evening was Chelsea winning the US title, followed probably by the Rhea Liv face-off. And then, of course, we got some afters in the KO Cody match, which I think was after the show went off air. I certainly saw it on Raw. Looks like Cody might be off TV for a while. I guess he probably needs a break. And then what consequences for KO? So I think it looks like everything is now being set up for the launch of Raw on Netflix, which is the 6th of Jan. I mean, you might have missed it. They haven't made much noise about the change. I'm being facetious. They even did a kickoff for the event this week. To be honest, I didn't watch it, but I did see a little clip of Logan Paul being announced as a Raw signing. Anyway, let's get to it and start the review of this week's SmackDown, which came from, I have no clue. And the show starts off, obviously we get a review of Saturday night's main event. I should have mentioned before that I did like the retro referees' outfits. That was cool. And I also forgot to mention that Pat McAfee was on comms for this event, which also was great. I'm a big fan of Pat. So we see Bianca and Naomi arriving, and a reminder that tonight they have their match against Nia and Candice for the tag team titles. And we also have their revenge match, which is going to be Shelley versus Gargano, which I think should be a lot of fun as far as matches go. And then we get our first live action of the night, and we have the new Bloodline coming out, still just as depleted, so no returns there yet. And Solo makes his entrance to the usual chorus of boos, and we get a reminder from Cole that tribal combat for the Ula Fala is on the 6th of January, which I don't know if you guys know, but the 6th of January is actually when Raw changes to Netflix. Just, mention it because it hasn't really been mentioned before now. Again, facetious. So Solo has the mic, and the crowd are chanting for the OTC. We have no idea where the show is from this week, as Solo just says, SmackDown, acknowledge me. So I guess this is pre-recorded. I might be wrong, but that might be the case. He recalls what Roman's challenge was to him last week, and he gets the what treatment from the crowd, which seems to really annoy him, and to be honest, I get it, it's really super annoying. He formally accepts Roman's challenge and agrees that they should both leave their respective bloodlines behind. He says on January the 6th, he is walking in and walking out as tribal chief and will still be the head of the table and will still have the Ula Fala. He says once he beats Roman on the 6th, he can get back in his little boat with his wise man and then acknowledge him. Just as he looks to be finished, we get Drew's music hits. Well, not the music, but the sword thing. And we get a reminder from Cole back to Clash in the Castle 2 years ago when Solo screwed Drew out of the championship match with Roman. And that was the point where Cole thinks Drew snapped. Solo allows Drew to come into the ring and says that he was happy that he kicked Jimmy in the face last week. He really enjoyed that, but he better have a good reason to be interrupting him. Drew says he's going to make it quick, as it hurts him to be this close to Solo and not kick his ass. Drew says Solo is the one who cost him the title at Clash in the Castle, which caused him and his family pain and misery. He then says, however, that Solo is the only one in the family that stood up to Roman and that he's torn. His head says they have a common goal in mind, and then his heart says that he should kick his ass. Drew says that he will take out the OG Bloodline if Solo can take care of Roman for him, and then after that's done, they can deal with their business. As we are waiting for some kind of response from Solo, we get Drew being taken out from behind by Jimmy, who appears, pulls him out of the ring and attacks him with his crutch. He gets rid of him and we don't see any more of either of those two. And then LA Knight's music hits and out comes Knight, Andrade and Apollo for the 6-man tag match. And in terms of an opening segment, I guess this was pretty strong. I think we already knew the match was confirmed, as it's been all over the advertising for the 6th of January. But I guess it's good to hear Solo's thoughts on it. And that obviously led us into the Drew angle quite nicely. I do wonder where this story goes. I mean, does Drew work his way through the OG Bloodline in matches one by one? Then what? Drew and Solo, for what purpose? And all the while, is Solo losing the Ula Fala in January? I think he does. And then we get switched roles of the current OG and new Bloodline. And probably this whole story eked out till past Mania. I reckon that this one is going to get absolutely rinsed. Also, with I don't understand what was going on tonight. It's felt like Solo completely changed the cadence of his voice to encourage the whats from the crowd, which I feel is just super annoying. He doesn't normally speak like that. That's a J thing, so he can get the yeets in. But for some reason tonight, Solo completely changed the cadence of his voice, which was accommodating the whats, which I found a little bit annoying, but that's just a me thing. Anyway, then we again get Knight, Andrade and Apollo rushing the ring, and it's all 6 men in, and the faces are in control as we go for a break. And as we come back, we have Apollo in with Tama Tonga, and he has him held above his head for ages as he dumps Tonga and tags in Knight, who carries on the attack with a neck breaker. He then tags in Andrade, who carries on, gets another tag into Apollo, so we've got the faces making very frequent tags. Apollo goes for a cover and gets a 2 count, then makes another tag to Andrade, and then we get Tonga starting to try and fight back. And Jacob Fatu appears and Andrade dispatches both of them over the top. Andrade and Cruz both then fly from inside the ring to outside of the ring to take out Fatu and Tonga. And we get Solo trying to rally his troops, but Apollo gets Tonga back in the ring. Fatu gets a blind tag and then continues to absolutely muller Cruz as we go for another break. As we come back, we have the new Bloodline still in charge, and Solo is now in the ring with Cruz. He makes a quick tag to Fatu, who goes for the senton, but Apollo manages to get his knees up and is able to get the tag to Andrade, who hits a crossbody and looks to be starting to get some offense going. He hits a meteor in the corner and goes for a cover, which Fatu kicks into. Andrade hits his beautiful double moonsault and covers again for another 2. Solo gets a blind tag and Andrade is hung up over the top rope in a move that looked super gnarly. He got thrown. He was halfway over the ropes and then Solo kind of pulled down his head on the other side. So it looked pretty cool. Solo continues to beat down on the outside and then back in the ring. Fatu hits the pop-up Samoan drop, and he again goes to hit Andrade in the corner, but Andrade moves, and he's looking for the tag to get Knight in, which he gets, and he's in with Tonga. Solo is in to interfere. Knight hits him with a neck breaker. Apollo is tagged in, and then him and Knight work well together to get another 2 count. Knight is outside the ring, and out of nowhere we get Shinsuke Nakamura appears and takes out Knight. Solo forces a tag and hits spinning Solo, followed by the spike on Apollo, meaning that Solo gets the cover and the win for the new Bloodline. So Shinsuke clearly not happy with having taken Knight's title, and this seems to be rumbling on. Confused as to why the match wasn't stopped as soon as Shinsuke put his hands on Knight. I guess maybe we're to believe the ref didn't see. Anyway, this was a great match and a really good start to the show tonight. I guess probably the right result, in my opinion, as the new Bloodline probably need to start gathering up their momentum, so to speak, again. I don't think we had any reason either to believe that Apollo, Knight and Andrade would or could win, but it was a good match, and the face team actually did put up a really good showing considering they haven't really worked together as a 3 before. So a good start, very enjoyable. We then go backstage, where Byron has the Motor City Machine Guns, and he is asking about tonight's match. Byron is very much playing up the betrayal angle, and Alex says he is doing this on his own tonight, and he wants to see if Johnny is big enough to handle his own battles. We now get a replay from Saturday night's main event and the Chelsea meeting match, where, of course, Chelsea was crowned as the inaugural, that's a tricky word, the first champion for the US title for the women. We then get some footage of the after show when Byron interviewing Chelsea with Piper, and this was all slightly weird, and it felt like this was a bit of filler. He is congratulating her. She says she isn't surprised. She's worked her whole life to become an overnight success. I thought this was a bit weird. I was expecting her to be interrupted and that would be the first feud for the US title, but instead we just got a lot of blah, blah, blah. And she just basically said she was off to Disneyland. So, yeah, a bit weird. Not sure what they were hoping to achieve with that. As we come back from another break, felt like there were a lot of breaks in tonight's show as well. Definitely felt like that to me anyway. So as we come back from the break, we get a recap again from Saturday night's main event and the Cody vs KO match. And of course, what we now know went down after the show went off air with Cody receiving the pile driver off of KO. We get some shots of the crowd who look genuinely shocked when this all happens, and then we get KO grabbing the belt that Cody had for that night, which was a different style of belt that Triple H had given him apparently. So KO sort of basically grabs that, stands on Cody and holds it up, and for the first time I think we really hear KO getting properly booed with some beans behind it. Corey tells us that their use of a banned pile driver resulted in Cody spending the night in hospital with cervical swelling but no fracture, and he's now at home resting. We then hear from KO in a pre-recorded promo who says that what happened was not his fault. He says there is a lot of people to blame for it, for example Cody, the ref, Nick Aldis, and he was screwed. He should be stood there as champ, but he isn't. He then shows us that he has Cody's title, so the one from Saturday night, not the actual one that Cody holds normally. And he isn't giving it back. He says he hasn't snapped yet, but he will, and it will get worse if he does snap. He says what happens next is on Cody and the WWE officials. So I think this is a good angle. I wasn't sure at first. I like seeing KO basically going totally mad. I wonder how long Cody is out for. I'm sure this match will be made for when he comes back. Is the Rumble the next PLE? I see that's in early February. So that's, I guess, like 6 weeks or so away. And that might be quite perfect because we might also get a Randy return at that. But, I mean, meaning that KO is unlikely to win the actual Rumble if this match does go ahead at the Rumble, which is nice because it leaves the door open for someone else to get a chance. This is all very, very interesting. And yeah, quite enjoyable. Not sure we will get that match on the 6th of January as well, but maybe we will. Maybe we will. We now have DIY in the back. Ciampa saying he thinks that Shelley is dumb for wanting a grudge match because what's the point? Johnny tells Ciampa that he's all man and that Ciampa needs to stay in the back while he goes out and shows the Motor City Machine Guns that he's a real man. We now have the Grayson Waller effect, which I have to say I really, really hate. It's just a really lazy way to set up feuds, in my opinion, but let's see. So we know that we've got apparently Braun Stroman on this show tonight, and obviously Grayson's out there with his sidekick, Austin Theory. So he gets his big entrance, and the ring's all jazzed up with all his effects in it. And he brings out Braun Strowman, who I'm gutted to see is dressed up in a Santa outfit, complete with presents. I really, really don't want to see comedy Braun. Let's hope this is just a Christmas thing, which he drops quickly. So he finally gets to the ring after giving out presents all the way down. And Grayson says, isn't this nice, giving out presents to the poor people? And then he says, I think of Hartford. So that's the first time that we get any mention of where this show is from tonight. So I guess that's where it is. I'm not completely sure where Hartford is. I'm sorry, ignorant of somewhere American geography. But yeah, so he says it's nice him giving out presents to the poor people of Hartford. That annoys Braun. But he chills out pretty quickly. Grayson says he spent a lot of money on his set and he would appreciate a nice relaxed interview. He says he's surprised that Braun agreed to come on. He finds him very intimidating. Grayson says that SmackDown is a scary place right now and asks Braun to set up an alliance and make some offensive comments about brains and brawn and etc. So yeah, he wants a 3-man alliance with A-Town, Down and Strowman. Before anything can be said about that, Melo's music hits. And he comes out saying that last week's match wasn't fair as he wasn't ready. He says that Nick Aldis' aim was to humble him, but he wasn't humbled. And he calls Braun a big, dumb Santa Claus ass bitch. Which is, festive, goodwill to all men. Braun starts chucking stuff at Melo, some like weird fake palm trees. And as we go for a break, Cole announces that we have the Melo versus Braun match next. As we come back from the break, both guys are in the ring. And we kick off with Melo being very heely and ducking through the ropes at every opportunity to avoid Braun. Melo ducks out and tricks Strowman into running around the ring, and Melo gets back in and gets a tiny offense in, but is soon well overpowered. Strowman catches Melo out of midair and goes for a choke slam, but Melo manages to counter and dumps Strowman on his head. But as is the norm with Melo, he spends way too long chopping off and saying how great he is as Braun raises up behind him, which was a great shot, really clever. Melo is totaled on the outside by Braun. Melo slaps Braun, and Braun chucks Melo back in as the ref reaches a 9 count, and Strowman doesn't manage to get back in. And Strowman is counted out, which means Melo gets the win, which is to be expected, I guess. And Melo runs away from Strowman through the crowd. So I guess we're now 1-1 in this series, and we go to a decider, which I really hope Melo gets his ass kicked by Braun in. It would be really good to see. So we don't have that confirmed. We don't know if or when that third match is going ahead, but I think it is. So this match was pretty much something and nothing. It never really got started. There was, just bits and bobs of moves, really, and it was all about, I guess, Melo outthinking Strowman and managing to get the count-out victory. So not really much to talk about, except to say that hopefully that will be extended into a third match. Now we go to the backstage area where we've got Nia and Candice there with Tiffany saying how excited they are about the title match. Candice tells Tiffany that they don't want her at ringside and she should stay behind and take some notes on what a championship victory looks like. And then she can start organising their victory party. Tiffany looks upset and leaves. And this angle of Nia and Candice pushing out Tiffy is interesting. Actually quite enjoying it. Candice is just a natural, complete bitch. And definitely would have been one of the mean girls at school. Tiffy getting pushed out is interesting. I think this could prove dangerous for Nia, remembering that Tiffy still has the Money in the Bank briefcase. Although I think Nia has always suspected that Tiffy will try and cash in on her. So maybe finally she's just wising up a bit. But as you know, I'm not a massive Nia fan. I am actually starting to enjoy this a little bit. Now we've got a bit of light at the end of the tunnel in terms of Tiffy getting released from the Nia situation. As we come back from the break, we have Braun looking for Melo backstage. He bumped into Pretty Deadly, and as he's telling them to get lost, he's attacked from behind by Melo with a chair. And Cole says Melo must have a death wish. And I completely agree. Why poke the bear? We now get Alex Shelley from the Motor City Machine Guns out for his match with Johnny Gargano. Shelley gets a great pop from the crowd, which is nice to see, as they're obviously quite new to the WWE audience. Gargano also out to a less good reaction, and it looks like both men have left their tag partners in the back, for now at least. As we kick off, it's Shelley with the upper hand. At first, Corey says Gargano is a little twerp who thinks he invented wrestling and he would like to fight him anytime. This is the first time I've heard Corey actually say anything like that, and I wonder if there is actually any real beef or anything behind that story, or if Corey's just selling it well. Anyway, back in the ring, we've got Shelley in charge, but Johnny with an elbow turned things round as he gets Shelley in the corner, kicking him down. Johnny takes too long hamming up to the crowd, and Shelley takes advantage of this with some of his, what we're learning to be patented, just amazing moves on the outside. And Shelley hits a massive running knee on the outside as we go for a break. As we come back, we have Shelley still in charge, but Johnny with a counter and a reverse neck breaker gets a 2-count cover. And we've got Johnny doing some serious trash talking as he tries to beat down Shelley. He goes for a slingshot spear, but is countered by Shelley, who is chopping the hell out of Johnny. And now Shelley with the armbar, followed by a neck breaker type move, and goes for a cover, getting another 2-count. Both guys now trading chops and punches in the ring, and Johnny with a couple of kicks and plants Shelley's face into the turnbuckle for another cover. Shelley then plants Johnny's face first into the turnbuckle. As he goes up to the top, Ciampa appears to distract. Shelley from the top hits a crossbody, but Johnny rolls through and grabs the tights in a very Healy move, grabs the tights and gets the win for a very sneaky victory. Both Motor City Machine Gun guys look completely shocked, and obviously Gargano and Ciampa are completely delighted. We then get some coverage from the Raw Kickoff event. I'm not going to break that down. You guys could go watch that on YouTube if you want to go see what happened. To be honest, it looked like a lot of nothing. But, if you guys want to see it, I think it's still on YouTube. Corey lets us know then that there's another huge match confirmed for Raw on January the 6th, and that's the women's title match, which will be Liv versus Rhea. I'm so getting super excited about that episode of Raw. It's going to be absolutely awesome, and hopefully the Netflix era is going to be massive for all the brands. So next up, we have the title match between Bianca and Naomi versus Nia and Candice. Byron is backstage and asks them that it has been a crazy couple of weeks, and next they get to solidify themselves as tag champs. Bianca basically says that she's not going down without a fight, and that she's so pleased that Naomi has her back. Naomi then says that she's ready to do anything to retain the titles tonight. Bianca goes to hand her Jade's belt, but she refuses to take it until they win it legitimately. Cole tells us again that Jade is out indefinitely, and as we kick off, it's Belair and Candice LeRae in the ring. Bianca lifts Candice up right above her head, but Candice managed to slip out and get the tag, leaving us with Nia in with Bianca. We get a shot of Tiffany looking on backstage, and she's looking very sad and down in the dumps. We get Nia missing hitting Bianca with a rolling senton, which allows Bianca to make the tag. We have Naomi with some impressive moves, but is quickly stopped by what looked like a pretty awesome headbutt, literally, from midair from Nia. And as we go for the break, things are not looking super great for Bianca and Naomi. As we come back, we have Bianca in with Candice now, and Bianca seems to be making progress. Nia manages to make a blind tag and hits the Samoan drop, getting her a really close 2 count. Nia applies a submission move onto Bianca and then flings her into the ring post. Nia uses Belair's hair a few times against her, and while the ref is telling her off, we get a cheap shot from LeRae. Nia continues to work on Bianca, who tries to counter but gets no joy. And we get another tag as Candice comes in, taking out Belair with a missile dropkick. This leads to Candice getting a 2 count, and we get Naomi taken out by Nia, so Bianca is alone. As Nia is then tagged back in, Nia misses and takes out Candice, while Bianca manages to get a tag to Naomi, who is now back up and ready for the tag, and Naomi's on fire. She gets Nia down to one knee and then plants her face first, getting a super close 2 count. Nia now sidestepped by Naomi and hits the corner. Nia goes up looking for the Annihilator, but is counted by Naomi, and somehow Nia is now bleeding from her head. Not sure if that's legit or some kind of capsule or something. Bianca, who is legal, goes off the top rope and covers Nia, but the count is broken by Candice. Then we get Tiffy appearing, but no music or anything, so it doesn't look like it's going to be a cash-in. Meanwhile, in the ring, Candice goes for a cover, which is saved by Naomi, and she is now legal. Nia wants the case off of Tiffany, but is spotted by the ref, and then taken out by Bianca. Naomi manages to finish things off in the ring and gets the cover on Candice, retaining / winning the tag team titles for Bianca and Naomi. So it's now official. Naomi is the women's tag team champ with Bianca. So was that her plan all along? Was it her that took out Jade? And how will all that play out? That's certainly the most interesting angle that I think we could be left with after all of this, with a massive heel turn for Naomi, which I don't think we've ever seen before. When that all comes out after the investigation, I'm sure they're going to drag up some CCTV coverage or something from somewhere to make this all come together. Hey, look, I might be completely wrong. I generally am with these things. It could be someone completely random. It could be Charlotte. It could be Bayley. Literally could be anyone. But I have something in my water telling me that possibly this is all a master plan by Naomi. We're going to get a heel turn, and that's going to be really good fun next year. So all in all, I thought tonight's show was really good. Very enjoyable. I'm liking some of the new angles, which I didn't expect I would. So, for example, Strowman Mello, and the grudge between DIY Motor City Machine Guns. That's definitely got some legs as well. The crowd were all chanting, cash it in, when Tiffy came out tonight. And I agree. I think this needs to be done sooner rather than later before it loses its appeal. It goes off the boil and people lose a bit of interest with it. It has been fun, the will she, won't she type angle with this year's Money in the Bank case, but I do hope that Trips doesn't milk it too much and it ends up losing the fire that it's got and having negative effect on what could be a great run from Tiffany. But all in all, good stuff tonight. So this is the last show before Christmas, and I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a great time however you celebrate. And if it's a tough time of year for you, like it is for many people, remember it's only one day, and it is socially acceptable to start drinking early on Christmas Day if that's what you need to get through. I joke, drink responsibly. So guys, have a Merry Christmas. That just about does it for this week's show. And thank you as always for having me in your ears. And until next time, remember, be kind.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.